A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear brothers and sisters, welcome back to Youth Forum. And in this part of the program, we're going to do some recitations, some poems, spread the word of Islam, through recitations and poems, as I said. And we're also going to introduce the question of the week, which is what surah is known as being the heart of the Quran. So make sure you call in and participate because there's also a prize. The question is, which surah is known as the heart of the Quran? So please make sure you call in and participate because there is a prize. It's a beautiful book by the name of The Roots of Religion. So make sure you call in for a chance to win. So more people call, the more time we get to kill, as well as spreading the word of Islam. And before obviously I hand over to Wazir to recite, I remember a story. I was in college and someone comes to me and then I tell him about religion and everything, and then he goes, what is how can we, it's too hard, we can't live up to these big prophets and everything. So I'll go, yeah, but you don't look at them and try, don't look at them and expect to be them. Look at them as role models, because obviously as you said, the youth, for example, of Karbala, how Qasim said death is sweeter to me than honey. So look at that as a role model. Look at that as motive to be prepared for death and not be so scared and so worried, because there shouldn't be anything to worry about if you're in the right frame of mind.
It's easy to make celebrities our role models, but we need to make sure we need to make these great statues in Islam our role models, isn't it? Obviously we can't be perfect, we can't be masoom, but we are. If you look at the Sahaba as well, the people that died in Karbala, they were masoom. Most of them were companions and family of Imam Ali, and we must aspire to be like them. Instead of aspiring to be like some rapper or any actor, we have to be aspire to be like these people. India one, India one. Yeah. So, So, Brother Zayn, please bless us with the recitation.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Right in the seventh heaven, right in the seventh heaven, beholds the Father of the Holy 11. With him he becomes the Father of the 12. Where the teardrop from my eyes becomes a pearl in his shell. How many more characteristics can I list? How many characters like him exist? How many lines of poetry can I write to completely define him before I break my wrist? Of prophethood he was the eyes and ears. When a message was sent down alongside Muhammad, he would see and hear. With the hearing and sight of an eagle in the sky, his mouth had a tongue that could not possess a lie. His mouth had a tongue that could not possess a lie. For what is more honesty than the one who himself is truth? For whose piety is more evident than the one who himself is Allah's proof? For he is the one who slept that night under the Prophet's roof. For he is the one who slept that night under the Prophet's roof. Even when the assassins gathered, he did not wake up or even move. For if he is not courage, what is he? For if he is not bravery, what is he? For if he is not daring, fearless, dauntless, gallant, heroic, then what is he? Tell me in any language, can a single word define him? Even the most diverse language, Arabic, a whole compilation of books can only just begin to describe the virtues his elegant name is written with. To describe the virtues his elegant name is written with. Oh, the curer of broken hearts, oh, the founder of lost parts, of the souls that have already started to depart from their bodies before as they not seen your magnificent art. Within the 3 letters of your elevated name, you can make a person who is the most mundane into a lover who is the most insane. You are the belt of stars in disguise that encompasses us within a chain. To see one another as sisters and brothers, as fathers and mothers, whether in faith or humanity, dreams or reality. For if you want to become more than a human, have a look and see at the personality of a man known as Ali. At the personality of a man known as Ali.
MashaAllah. Sallallahu Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And as always, thank you for blessing the show with the beautiful recitation and your beautiful voice as well. So I believe you have a poem as well?
Yeah, I wrote this in the morning, just being honest here.
Yes, I wrote this 10 minutes before as well.
I tried to be as philosophical as possible. It's not normally how I write poems, but I tried to do a bit of change here. It's loosely linked with our topic about death. So I named it, What Is My Worth? Why is it in prostration I see nothing but darkness, no light in my eyes, no speech in my tongue? I see what I can't see, but what do I really see? A glimmer of ignorance, a petal which never blossoms, a rose that dried out in the rain, a stem that burnt at nightfall. I see nothing, but nothing is worth my soul. I see nothing, but nothing is worth my soul. So how much am I really worth? Not by physical means, but with spiritual deeds. My status from insanity through my prayers reaches piety. A breath closer to the darkness of my prostration, a breath closer to death. So I ask again, how much am I really worth? Let the walls of my grave answer to whom I belong and to whom I shall return. The end of the journey from my birth, only then I shall realize how much am I really worth.
MashaAllah. Obviously that's taking inspiration from what Imam Ali said in Nahj al-Balagha as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, so beautiful recitation.
Yeah, relatable to our topic today about
My biggest inspiration is the Ahlul Bayt, and from their virtues, from their values, from how they live their life, this is how you perform, this is how you basically come across and spread the message through love, through poetry, through other means, through social media. This is a modern era. This is not just old times where you just write books upon books and just spread it across. The modern era has social networking, social means of spreading the message of the Ahlul Bayt through poetry, through recitation, through lectures, through even this program here.
Yes, I just remembered now about you talking about social media and about recent cases and recent tragedies in the world. And I think WAFIQ keeps telling us and keeps scaring me and Hasik about death prior to this topic, because even when we're talking here, we have a call.
Yeah, we have a call. Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. I've just switched on my TV and I have an impression that it's a Persian program going on at the moment.
Yes, this is the program Youth Forum.
Is it Persian?
It's in English.
It's in English.
Oh, I also just want to read some Persian poetry.
Yeah, please go ahead, read some Persian. Befamad.
Okay, Hafiz Shirazi فرماید در آن کتاب که نیست ذکر مرتضی در آن کتاب که نیست ذکر مرتضی لعنت بر آن کتاب و صاحب کتاب را تسبیح زاهدان که تبرع نمی کند تسبیح زاهدان که تبرع نمی کند بر گردن سگان جهنم تناب را. I hope you understand. Whichever book it hasn't got the zikr of Ali alayhi salam, lanat bar that book and the writer of that book, and tasbih zayda, if you read tasbih and there's no lanat but dushmanan atiin, then this tasbih is equal to the strap of a dogs of Jahannam. I want to share another one.
Yes, please.
Rona ke bazar ishq naam kashange Hussain.
Bah, bah.
Rona ke bazar ishq naam kashange Hussain. Kashida tasveer ishq khuda barange Hussain. Sarvar-e kainat Ahmad-e Mukhtar shud. Sarvar-e Paygambara mast malange Hussain. Thank you, brother. Lanat bar dushmanan-e-deen, lanat bar mukassareen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, brother. Hafiz. Yeah, so that was good as well. So just to encourage everyone else,
any language.
Yeah, so
even though I don't know Farsi. Farsi na balad.
Farsi na balad.
Yeah, so just asking everyone to join in and share their poems, even if they're really short, or just have that confidence. If you don't want to share your name, just you don't have to share your name as well. Just to remind everyone, the question is, which surah is known as the heart of the Quran? So make sure you call in and participate, because there's a prize to it as well. The prize is the book called The Roots of Religion, which I've started reading as well, and it's a really good book, first impressions. So yeah, just make sure you call in
to start reading after
to have a chance of winning that book as well. Or if you don't know the answer, you can just call in for poems, or to get your point or anything across to recent events or whatever. As long as you participate, it's really appreciated as well.
So I was going to say, yes, what was I talking about was the fact that the recent events, everything happens on social media. You can find everything on social media, which is a positive of social media. And how if the media, the widespread media, does not spread and do true justice to several cases in the world, several tragedies in the world, then the social media can take their part and show that the true media and the true meaning of true justice is done to the youth.
Just show the power of media, basically.
And the recent case of the Chapel Hill shootings made us realize how fragile life is, and how two young girls, Islamic Muslim girls, and one young Islamic man can, who just recently got married, and her sister of the person who got married can just be executed straight away.
I think that was one of the reasons why we chose to do the topic of death today as well, because how they were so active just the day before, online, on Twitter, on social media as well, and just that day they got shot, got murdered by what seems like a hate crime. So death is
it's inevitable.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we
don't know when we're gonna die.
Certainty is our death, but uncertainty of the time, location, and where.
And I think that's the thing that most people fear. Like, when are they gonna die?
But it's kind of a mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to
keep it away from
to keep
you.
it ambiguous.
Yeah, because that sort of drives you. Gives you inspiration to always be prepared. Because you can't risk not being prepared just in case you might die that day or something.
WAFIQ yesterday, to me and Hazik were walking from football. He's like, just imagine, they could be walking from their basketball and they're going to get killed, and I'm like, no, I don't want to get executed in my house. But, should it be, but it does make you realize, all jokes aside, like any second now, even now, how do we know that we just leave this building?
And something
I remember Sheikh Hilli was talking about in the program that we were all present in, and he said that there was a sister from Egypt, and long story short, she didn't used to wear hijab. One of her friends took her to a lecture, and she was so inspired that she didn't leave the mosque until she wanted to get hijab. So she spent a long time waiting for someone to get cloth to wear hijab. She wore it and left the building, and she got killed straight away, and was an accident.
She didn't even leave the mosque. She said, I'm not going to leave the mosque without a hijab.
And she wore
hijab, and she wore it.
It shows how fragile our life is.
And it shows, she was prepared, she changed her mind.
You see an opportunity, take it.
Don't live life as though you're going to die tomorrow. But even I'm saying, live life, you're going to die in the next 10 minutes. That's even less than that. You don't know anything. My heart can just stop right now, and anything can happen. And it doesn't. You don't need to say, "Oh, God did it." There could be a logical reason that I might have ate too much New York Crispies.
Might go after this.
I don't want to go after this anyway. But anyway, that's a different story.
Yeah, but it's so unpredictable how 1 minute you're alive, the next minute you might not be, and one day you're talking to your friends, the next day the friend might not be there anymore. It's just so daunting that
that's exactly what happened with SYED Qasim Abbas.
Yeah, we have a call before you talk. Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I just wanted to show my support to the program.
Okay, thank you.
If possible.
Yes.
My name is Zuhair.
Your name is Zuhair, okay. Thank you. Okay, brother, what would you like to say?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that actually this program is a milestone into the actual development of the youth. And mashallah, the youth are sitting there are very, very nice, and as well the information and knowledge is very good. I hope this program continues and flourishes, as I think it reaches the youth on a level that's never been done before.
Thank you so much, brother. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
These nice gestures help us to motivate.
Would be more nice if there were youth calling.
Only they were participating and answering the question for a chance to win this book. Obviously, who wouldn't want to read a book like this?
We paid you. I'm joking.
Yeah, as I was talking, Sayyid Qasim Abbas, he was a youth, 18 years of age, I think, and he was in a lecture. And the lecturer was talking about how you are uncertain of when you're going to die. It was in Ramadan, last Ramadan. The lecturer was talking about how
your father was telling me about this as well.
He was saying how we're uncertain about when we can die. So if we repent now, then inshallah God will wash away our sins.
Inshallah.
I don't know how many days or 1 week after that lecture. Now I don't know if he repented or not, but he passed away like a week after that lecture. So we can just exemplify on what we're talking about.
It just gives another example of my friend Muhammad Abbas, who I think some of us here are sitting here know. And I know for a fact, if Manchester people are watching this program at the moment, a lot of them would realize who I'm talking about. Muhammad Abbas, who passed away at the age of 14, 15. I think 14 because I was in year 8, so year 8 is 13 in the UK, and he was in year 9, 1 year older than me. And when he passed away, it hit me really hard because he was a really good friend of mine. But what hit me even more harder is that I was there in his last Ramadan. And to think your last Muharram or your last Ramadan or your last Maghrib namaz, that's going to be your last opportunity. And what a beautiful month is Ramadan. And that was his last, and I was there to see it. That's just realized about Qasim, brother Qasim, his last Ramadan, and Ja'far was there. And you don't realize these people you're looking at. And it's not like he was,
These guys were our age in 17.
Remember that kid? We were making, go on YouTube and write A Graveyard of Tragedy. We made a poem about Peshawar, and we want to give our condolences to all the families who suffered from the recent attacks in Peshawar in the Jummah prayer. And we did a poem dedicated to the event, to the tragedy before that about the kids. And how old was that kid, that baby that we saw?
3 years.
3 days old.
3 days.
3 days. We saw in the grave.
One of the graves 3 days old.
It's just so unexpected.
One grave was 70 years old, and right next to it, 2 days old. Look at that.
It's tragic, to be honest.
I mean, because obviously, as you said about your friend and Qasim as well, is that they would have never known, and like no one around them would have ever known that this person might not be alive next month, next week, next day, tomorrow, next hour. No one knows.
That's why we go to these lectures.
And that's the thing that really hits you hard. And inshallah they were, and being prepared is the always right way.
People as examples.
Never take salah or namaz before. Never take anything
and
lightly.
improve your akhlaq with your fellow brothers and sisters, because you don't know, they might not be available, and we might not be available next.
Yeah, make sure you don't upset them. If you do, apologize, because if they they don't forgive you, and then they pass away or something like that, and then there's a big problem in your.
One of the simple servants, you are in Karbala. Please pray for us, and if we did anything wrong, we all ask for forgiveness.
We got a call. Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Welcome, salam.
Yes. Yes, what's your name?
My name is Abbas.
Okay, Brother Abbas, what would you like to say?
I would just like to say that your program is really good, and it's really exciting for the youth to watch, and I enjoy watching it. And I just wanted to ask one question.
Yes.
And that is, which surah is the heart of the Quran?
Yeah, do you want to answer that question, brother?
Yeah.
Okay, go on, answer it, please.
Oh, I think it's Surah Yasin, but I'm not sure.
Okay, we'll reveal the answer at the end of the show.
Where are you calling from?
Inshallah. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Manchester.
Okay,
I'm sure that's the final answer. No,
from Manchester, yeah. Okay, at the end of the year. So thank you very much for participating, Brother Abbas, and I hope.
Thank you for your kind.
Yeah, thank you for your Khilafis. Thank you for your kind call, and I hope people follow his footsteps and call in for a chance to win the roots of religion. And at the end of the program, if Abbas is right, he will be able to win if no one else calls as well.
Talking from this Surah Yasin, when we talk about how to be closer to death, how to be closer to Allah, the best way is to read the Quran and to follow in the footsteps. And Salah, once you start reading it, once you get into the habit of reading it 5 times a day, everything else will come with it. But as long as that is a conversation, Salah is where you talk to Allah, and Quran is where Allah talks to you. You can't have one or the other. We're not having a conversation with you, you hear, we talk. So the same way, so read Quran as much as possible and try to implement on it and try to fix the akhlaq with your fellow brothers and sisters, and inshallah it'll help you become a pious person.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
It's just you can't understand. Even I'm trying to get the words out to say what am I trying to say. That death is something you can use to your advantage in so many ways. You shouldn't be scared of it. And now you see death around us so much that we become abundant to it. It's like, somebody passed away, or if you hear a tragedy, it's not like who passed away, it's how many passed away.
Nowadays the media is desensitizing this, so when you hear something, event that happened, people are just like, how many people died? 20, that's not that.
So like, it's only, for example, it's only like 2 people, or it's only 2 people that died. If you think about it, the whole generation is gone, and all the family and everything, they're suffering through such loss as well. The value of life, because I was actually watching this documentary and it's talking about how the media desensitizes us human beings and makes like big things like death and violence look so small. For example, like I just said, which only 2 people died, for example. But 2 people is a lot of people. 2 people, 2 generations just ended there.
This was part of my inspiration for the poem, How Much Am I Really Worth? So the media has desensitized us so badly to violence, to murder, to everything, that everything's taken lightly. We just look at the numbers instead of what's really happened.
Again, going on to point of worth, is that you want to have a death worthy, not just an ordinary death that you died as though you never existed. One of Imam Ali's, just a sub-quote from his actual quote, when he talks about the past and the present and the future in a beautiful way. Live your life as though when you die, you give something to the world, that the whole world will come to your funeral. Those personalities, those 3 personalities we talked about in the Chapel Hill shooting, we found out more about them, that they donated dental supplies and they, try to speak out as much as they can. And I didn't know much about them, but those 2-3 things made me love them. And then you realize if you give so much to the community, if you see
you get the love back, exactly.
At a young age is
at the same time, if sorry to cut you off, but at the same time, if we rely on others after we die, to read Surah Al-Fatiha and all that, a lot of people are going to forget. So if we perfect our salah now, do all the mustahabbat, wajibat, everything.
Things we shouldn't have an intention of doing good and expecting a return for the good, as in Surah Rahman. It's hal jaza wal ihsan illa al ihsan. So what's the reward for good other than good itself? So make sure the thing is, make sure your good deed is reward itself. So don't expect anything in return. Don't do something.
That's the worst intention to go with. Doing something to expect something in return, because that's the worst thing. Because as you just said, the ayah there.
It's the levels of love you have. You start off by not understanding anything. Then you're like, oh my God, these rewards.
Mashallah,
Then you get to a level that you do it out of love.
So let's reveal the answer for the question of the week. Although we didn't get many.
We only had one answer.
We only had one answer, and hopefully it's the right answer. So, Brother Yengu, would you like to reveal the answer?
He doesn't know.
It is Surah
Yasin. Surah Yasin. MashaAllah. So, MashaAllah, Brother Abbas, we have you've basically won this book. So make sure after the program you call in to give your details so we can deliver this book to you. If you're still watching, that is. And hopefully. So you've won The Roots of Religion, which is a really good book, inshallah. So
if we have more participation in the program, soon enough we will start getting the audience to come in as well.
Inshallah,
we need to see the participation.
Inshallah.
And instead of just us three same faces, we'll probably get one of us and then an audience, so we do like a competition in that way as well.
So yeah, just to sum up, mashallah, this is a really good discussion, and Brother Hazak returned as well from after 2 weeks of hardcore revision and examination. So from the guests as well, Brother Ja'far, Brother Zaygham and Brother Haziq, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.